So I guess first of all, let's start with the visit to Wembley in a couple of weeks. You've got another trip to Wembley, another cup final to look forward to. As a player and as a team, you must be very pleased with that achievement.
Yeah, I think it's good for the football club and also good for players to go back to Wembley and play. But I think since I've rejoined the club, the last two times it's been disappointing results. So I certainly don't want that to happen again, and especially at my age now, where it could be one of the last times you play at Wembley and you want to win. It was a good game. Two good teams going for a place in the final. I think Lincoln started the game well on that night, but I think throughout the game, I think we deserved the win within normal time, really, as the game was going towards the end. But yeah, Lincoln's a good side, but in the end we got through and got the job done, and more importantly, Sunderland football clubs going to Wembley.
And obviously you stepped up and took the fifth and final penalty to secure the win for the club, didn't you? I think Lee Johnson said in his post-match interview that you were the coolest man in Sunderland when you stepped up to take the penalty. Is that a true reflection on how you felt at the time?
No, I think throughout my career, throughout the 20 years I've played football, so I think I've been majority a penalty taker for that amount of time. So certainly for the last 10, 12 years. So it's something I back myself to do. And yeah, I think as a player, you should always thrive on pressure moments. And I think throughout my experience, it's always nice to stay a bit calm. And luckily this time it helps.
Obviously, the main aim is promotion, as it always is for clubs in a season. But this is a competition that Lee Johnson, since he's come in, has taken very seriously. And you've set out to win every game in the competition, haven't you?
Yeah, that's full credit to the manager. I think it's one of the first few days when the manager came in, he wanted a trip to Wembley, he wanted to win this trophy. So he set his ambitions out straight away. So I think that's good as players because you've got targets to hit. But not, yeah, it's something we want to go to Wembley win, but we want to carry on the momentum, and winning a trophy will carry that on. But I know it's going to be a difficult game, so and it's going to be really, really low with no fans there, really. So it's going to be a strange atmosphere. Not one really you want to experience, but yeah, I want to go there and win for Sunderland Football Club.
I was going to say, you touched on it, the importance of going to Wembley and winning. It could be a really important occasion, couldn't it, for the club in terms of creating momentum and creating that winning mentality and getting the result in the big games, especially going into the final third of the season.
Yeah, I think I've grown up with this. The phrase "we're coming into the business end of the season," so there's always going to be big games this time of the season. But yeah, as long as you're winning games, the momentum can carry, and if you can win a trophy that you're in, no matter what trophy you're in, if the club's in this trophy, so we set out to win it. So it's something we want to do and carry on winning football games and towards the end of the season. Because let's be honest, from March onwards, it's the most important time of the season, I believe, because that's when big players step up and big teams step up and carry on runs, and this is where you've got to stand and be counted, really, I believe. I think obviously it's disappointing to lose them 2 games because there were 2 big games for the football club at that period of time. So I think that this time it's a new era, it's a new football club, looking to go in a certain direction. And we have to start by winning at Wembley. That's what I want to do. It's what the players certainly want to do. It's what the staff want to do. And let's be honest, we want to win for the fans, because over the years, over the last 20 years, Sunderland haven't been able to win at Wembley. And no matter what competition is, that's what I certainly want to do as a fan. And to be able to look back in your career saying you've done that, and I want to do that. So, but we know it's going to be tough. Let's not get carried away. Tranmere had a good result at Oxford, which no one really thought they'd win, and they had a great result there. So it's something we won't be taking lightly, and something we're really looking forward to, and really stamp our authority on the game.
And as one of the most experienced players in the squad and club captain, you obviously have a role to play within this squad. How much responsibility do you feel, to make sure that this time you come away on the winning side and with a trophy?
I think there's quite a few experienced players in the dressing room, but it's all about your performances leading up to the final, because you want to be in the team. So that's a message you try and get across to the dressing room. Your performances earn the right to play at Wembley. So we've got big games leading up to that. We can't take the eye off the ball, because football is a short memory game. So it's something we're really looking forward to. as an experienced player, you just don't change your routine. Don't change your routine and keep training daily properly.
And you mentioned the fans a moment ago as well. It's obviously going to be a very different experience this time around. And a club like Sunderland with such a big fan base, so well supported. Just how much are you missing the fans at the moment?
Yeah, it's difficult. I'm not going to sit here and say it is. It's not. It's really difficult playing without fans. I think you've got to create your own atmosphere within your group at games, and especially in tough times in games. But yeah, Sunderland going to Wembley without fans, yeah, it's going to be disappointing. So I'm not getting away from that. But as players and as a fan myself, we have to give something back to the fans and to show that the club can win at Wembley.
And you've played under a lot of managers in your career and many different types of manager as well. How are you finding things under Lee Johnson? He was a big appointment for the club, wasn't he?
Yeah, the manager put his own ideas into the football club. He wants to build. I get the idea he wants to build from bottom to top. So I think that's really good for the football club. That's someone that's needed. We can't always live short-term goals at this football club. You've got to have an insight the way you want to build a football club, and I believe, in my opinion, that's a way to do it to be successful in the long run. Because let's be honest, football, you've got to build and build and build, and you can't rely on short-term goals, because if you become unstuck, then you've got to keep that philosophy within your football club, and you've got to keep your winning in your identity and structure in the club. And I believe this club needs that, and the club is going in that direction.
And just looking at the last sort of year or so for you, I know you've spoken about it a lot. I don't want you to have to go over it again, but you've been through some incredibly challenging times. And I think I speak for everyone when I say that, you've shown the most incredible strength to not only acknowledge that you needed to take some time away from the game, but then to come back and perform to the standard that you have. You've shown an incredible character. Do you feel that?
I've done what I needed to do. I had to be honest with myself, with my family and the people around me, my teammates. Most important, I had to be honest with the football club, because things weren't good for me. I'm not hiding away from that. So I believe my characteristics shown that, because I wasn't in a good place. I was low. The reasons I took time off was the right reasons, I believe. So, but yeah, it's not nice going through when you grieve, because you don't know what you don't know any stage of life, which I've learned over the last 12 months. You don't know when it's going to hit you. It's any stage of your life, really, when you've had such trauma in your life. So yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, I'm proud to say I'm still working at things. That's something I do weekly. But as for coming back to performances, I back myself quietly. I don't go around the building. I back myself, and that's something I did. Lots of people wrote me off when I took time away, and before that, but I've been written off by a lot of people throughout my career. So I've gone on to do very well at a very high level and play nearly 600 games. So that's something I'm proud of. But as for taking time off, yeah, I did what I needed to do. I've come back and I performed the way I know I can perform. But it's at the end of the day, that's still 15, 16, 17 games left. So I want to achieve what I want to achieve at this football club. Because if I don't, it'll hurt me for the rest of my life. Yeah.
And mental health is so prominent at the moment, isn't it? Especially at the moment, and it's so important in all walks of life. How did you know that having a break from the game was the right thing for you? Because it must have been an incredibly difficult decision, but you obviously knew it was right.
That's the most difficult decision I've done in my life. I've lost both parents, and I spoke at the funerals. But that's something you felt as if you needed to do. This is something I could have hid away from. It's something I didn't have to do, because I could have easily hid in the limelight. I could have easily gone down that route, but I knew within myself I wasn't performing most of all, and I wasn't myself around people. I didn't want to be around people. I found it tough. But yeah, it's everyone deals with things different. Everyone deals with grieving different. Everyone deals with their own issues different. And yeah, I love football so much, and if I can't do my job properly, I'm going to suffer.
And you obviously started your career at Sunderland all the way back in 2003, I think it was. The club means an awful lot to you, doesn't it? It has a special place in your heart.
Yeah, obviously, I think that's well documented. It's something in the Northeast, all people in the Northeast love the football clubs. It's something I've done since the age of 2-year-old, being attached to Sunderland Football Club since I was 6-year-old. So, yeah, it's my football club. It's a football club I love, but ultimately, you may love the football club, but you have to be successful. I'm not getting away from that idea. You have to be successful, and if that's successful is over the next few months, then great.
And I think when you left the club initially in 2009, and then 10 years later you came back. I think you signed again in 2019. What made you come back to Sunderland? Why Sunderland?
The challenge. The manager at the time was really good. So yeah, the challenge of coming into a football club that I know is going through a difficult time, and yeah, you can't stamp your authority straight away, but slowly but surely as a player you want to deal with certain things. And yeah, Sunderland Football Club's a big part of my family. That's well documented.
And just looking at this season as well, I mean, it's incredibly intense, isn't it? The game at this level doesn't ever seem to really slow down. The amount of games, the competitiveness doesn't get any easier. But you're 35 years old now, and you've played 30 games already this season. What's your secret?
Determination and fitness. I've got hunger. I still have that hunger to succeed. I think training properly every day is a big thing. So far this season, I've not missed one training session from the first day of pre-season. So being 35-year-old, not being able to do it, I think that's a success. And obviously, form dictates. And when you get over it, I suppose when you get over the age of 30, 31, and everyone talks about different things about your age, but you have an average game and everyone writes you off. And no, it's something that drives you on. It really is. I love it, and to be honest, I don't really care what people think. I love the way I go about my business day to day, and I love football, and I love training properly every day, and I love playing games for this football club.
Finally, you've won promotion with Sunderland before. You've won promotion with Middlesbrough. You've won trophies in your career. You know what it means. You know how important it is. What would it mean to you to get this trophy over the line and return to the Stadium of Light with some silverware?
I think it's more important for the football club. The football's got to build again. That's the most important thing, and we've got to build by winning. And if we can get a trophy for the football club and get promotion, it's all about the club. It's not about any individuals at this football club. You have to build a culture within your football club where it's all about your club. And because I believe if you do that, you become successful, because that's something I've been able to build at other football clubs I've been at. So and once you have that one, everyone pulling in direction, I believe you succeed in the end.